So I have not worn a mask yet, but let me show you what I picked up in the mail yesterday. Yeah, buddy, I went and did it. I figured I'm probably going to go somewhere eventually that forces you to wear mouth gags, so I went ahead and just bought myself a pair of face panties. That's what I call them, because a bunch of people out there look like they're just walking around with panties on their face. We'll see how many subscribers I lose from this one. Or gain. Man, though, isn't it just ridiculous the way they're trying to disconnect us all from each other? I mean, you saw that giant, face shield. Looks like a astronaut helmet that they're trying to get people to wear. You know, I saw that this restaurant, they're opening up to take dining guests, but they're literally making their patrons wear a freaking inner tube around their waist to keep up the social distancing. Man, if they told us that we had to get into bubbles, they passed a law that forces all into bubbles, some people would do it. They would do it. And they would be more than happy to do it. That's the ridiculous thing. Sometimes you just don't know whether to laugh or cry at the state of the world. And then you wonder if the movie Idiocracy is becoming real life. Oh, man. We won't let that happen. Nope, one video, one tweet, one post at a time. We'll wake the world up. And as for this video, we're just going to make this all about Q. All about Q. Tuesday, Q's Day. So we're just going to cover all the Q from the last, 48 hours. Hang out for a little bit here. We got this going live. I got my big-ass mug. We're ready to do this. One thing, though, before we get into covering these drops, I better hit refresh because I think they've been posting now. Speaking of disconnection, another way they're disconnecting all of us is on the internet through the censorship of just about anything they don't want that goes against their narrative. Now, over the last day, I've had posts removed from Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And that's just the last day. That's basically every day around here. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I wish I could tell you what they removed and why they removed it, but unfortunately I can't. Or they'll remove this video too. They've done it before on this platform. So, on that note, what I can say about it is just, it's about a certain compound we must not name. And there were studies that came out in other countries over the last day, groundbreaking studies, showing that a certain compound, a certain dioxide, is having really good results against a certain disease out there. And the powers that be in the tech corporations don't want that information out. So anyway, that's all I'll say about it here. If you want more info on that, please go to my website and subscribe to my newsletter, actually, because, they can ban me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever, but that email list is something that I can take with me wherever. So thank you to all you guys signing up, subscribing on my websites there. Totally free. I don't sell your info. So I just send you news updates, and I send you what's going on with my projects and whatnot. So thank you to all of you doing that. And shout out to all you new patrons out there supporting me on Patreon. Shout out to all you guys that have sent stuff to my P.O. box too. Trust me, I read them all. I read all the little letters and stuff people send to my P.O. box. I love all the sweet gifts you guys send, and I have them all. I don't think I've ever thrown away any thing I've gotten there. So if you want to, go check that stuff out. It'll be down below. And appreciate that. So anyway, let's get down into Q's drops here. Oh, speaking of which, BitChute too. If you're not subscribed to my BitChute, I'll be putting out a video over the next day or two all about that certain stuff we can't talk about here. So check it out. Now let's get into Q's drops. Let's bring up this schnazzy. Ooh, look at that. We're going to start off with post 4256. This was on Sunday the 17th, and this talks about our 10 weeks of Q. It's like 10 weeks of Q-miss is the way I think about it. So Q gives us a tweet from Maria Bartiromo. It was a tweet that had to do with General Flynn and Obamagate and all the FISA abuses that were going on. Greatest political scandal in U.S. history. Q gives us basically a 10-week timeline is what it looks like here. The first week was when Flynn's case was dismissed by the Department of Justice. That was just a couple weeks ago. Last week, we had the FISA unmaskings, the D-class that Rich Grinnell did about all the transcripts and the beautiful stuff that we were learning there. This week, class 1 through 99, that's probably whatever Q and POTUS and them are doing to take down these bad guys. Week 3, this is where we're at right now. Look at that, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 10. That takes us actually into about early July. So maybe we'll get some fireworks in that 10th week, if you know what I mean. But anyway, 10 weeks of QMIS. We'll see how this plays out. This third week that we're already in, we've got some big stuff blowing up with Joe Biden. Calls of his leaking having to do with Ukraine and his corruption there. And it's only Tuesday. There's more stuff coming too. Still learning new details about what's going on with Flynn's situation there too. But the 10 weeks of QMIS. I just want to sing that song here. On the first week, Flynn's DOJ course was dropped. Let's see. We got this next drop. This link here. Snowden documents. It's not coming up for me though. I don't know about you guys, but this is not a reachable link for me. But it looks like Q wants us to read a few pages out of it for future understanding, for future events that are going to unfold. Then we have this next drop, 4258. Trump saying we have a lot of information on the Wuhan lab, and it is not good. It's from that same interview there with Maria Bartiromo. And Q saying public versus matters of national security. There's an amount of information that they, fortunately, have to keep private. And they're keeping it private for, well, I would like to know everything, but I understand that the public out there would have a very tough time accepting everything and digesting everything. All right, so, we have to always understand that. There's a lot of stuff that they may or may not have to keep secret for that very reason. I'm sure it's not good. When it comes to coronavirus, it's not good. Then we get into a queuing spree. Q handing them out like candy. Where we go on, we go walls from all over the world, from Germany, from California, one of these videos was it was a plane flying a Where We Go On, We Go All banner over the Huntington Beach protest gatherings there. Brazil, Germany, Haiti, Pennsylvania, look at that, good stuff. So I'm not going to go through all of these, but you can on your own. What a good feeling to get cued. Let's see, 4275, this next drop, was an article about the Texas Pharmacy Board's loosening their restrictions on hydroxychloroquine. You might have seen a particular doctor from Texas go fairly viral recently. She even ended up on Laura Ingram's show on Fox News. And she was a doctor that was speaking out about her attempts to use hydroxychloroquine there in Texas. She was getting a lot of backlash from the pharmaceutical board. They wouldn't even fill the prescriptions of her patients, And she didn't want to give up any information because of HIPAA laws, but the pharmaceutical boards were still calling her, what does your patient have? What does your patient have? But anyway, looks like the Texas board is loosening up some things there, reversing course. It's good stuff. Knowledge is power. And then this next drop, shout out to Easton, I believe is his name. Yes, Easton. So this gentleman here got cued because his child, unfortunately, died of brain cancer in September of last year. This one's for you, Easton. And then Q goes and gives us a quote. We do not get over a death. We learn to carry the grief and integrate the loss into our lives. In our hearts, we carry those who have died. We grieve and we love, and we remember. And then Q gives us an American flag a couple of drops later. For Easton is the file name of it. This one's for you, buddy. This one's for you. 4277. Another great video having to do with the Great Awakening, having to do with Q. You can go watch it there. And getting into the drops from yesterday and today. So, yesterday's is having to do with Attorney General Barr. Q gives us a tweet from Catherine Herridge of CBS. And speaking of which, if you want the latest updates on what's going on with FISA-gate and declassification, go follow Catherine Herridge's basically Twitter account. Her, Sarah Carter, of course, John Solomon would probably be the go-tos. And Technofrog, he's always got good thoughts, good stuff there on Twitter. But Catherine Herridge Late last year, she made a switch from Fox News over to CBS, and I think that might have been assisted behind the scenes, strategic, because she is getting a lot of information. She breaks a lot of stuff in regards to the FISA abuses, and she takes a lot of heat from the, I guess we could say the shills there in the mainstream media. They don't like her very much, and they've been attacking her a bit lately because she seems to be getting these scoops. And I think she's one that has some sources very close to very high levels who are helping her out with all of this because they trust her. But anyway, at Attorney General Barr's press conference yesterday, he says, as to President Obama and Biden, whatever their level of involvement, based on the information I have today, I don't expect Mr. Durham's work will lead to a criminal investigation of either man. Now, Q reminds us, I have today. That's what they pick out of that statement. Words, very important. Each and every little word and how they string together, very important. How people say things and how you say things too. Facts matter. But Attorney General Barr says, I have today. That means he doesn't have it in his hand. That's all that means. That doesn't mean that that's going to be that way forever. That doesn't mean that within the next few weeks, month or two, that some memo or something could end up in his hand that completely makes him change his statement there. Okay? FISA, Q is saying FISA equals the start. And I think they're telling us here that we're not even there yet, folks. We're going through these 10 weeks of class 1 through 99 or whatever's coming our way, and it's just still getting set up. Like the snowball hasn't even begun rolling. We're still packing it to let it go. Think of that. That's pretty incredible perspective there. It's about to get even more nuts. 4281, Q giving us some symbolism in terms of chess, some metaphors to think about. Objective, in the end, is to checkmate the king in a game of chess. Do you attack the king at the beginning of the game, or do you remove the easy ones first? The pawns, the bishops, all the other ones that are in the way that make the task more difficult in removing that king. You move the queen, usually second to last, or as soon as you can, but usually it's towards the end because the queen has a lot of power, and then the king is the one you want to checkmate. Q is saying, do emotions affect critical thinking? Hot damn, they do. Keep your cool out there, folks, especially when you see certain theories and speculations on Twitter and on 8kun and on social media. Some of those can, in my opinion, just go way out into left field, so you got to be careful. Don't let your emotions cloud that judgment. Add important king control pieces. Eliminate rogue elements. There's some other factors on this chessboard right now that Q is needing to eliminate. It's not your standard game in chess. Add, how do you set the stage or the board regarding public opinion? Whoa! So there's almost two chess masters going on right now. There's a chess match going on behind the scenes that we can't learn about, and there's a chess match that they're showing us to the public surface. Again, it's so multi-dimensional, multifaceted. It's incredible. Q is highlighting again, at this time. Attorney General Barr has not seen that information, but could change in an instant, and we know that. Plus, I do want to note, in regards to the king, a lot of people out there speculating on who Q has meant in recent days by talking about the king in regards to these chess metaphors. Of course, there's a lot of names we could throw out there. We could have an educated guesstimation on who one of the top levels, who's the highest gentleman, the highest king in that elite cabal. But fitting into the context of these drops and what we're talking about lately, that being Obamagate and FISA, I think Q is particularly talking about the king in this instance being Obama, because he was the one that essentially initiated that FISA-gate, Obamagate, that spy campaign against Flynn, Trump, et al. So context is key. When you're reading Q's drops, context is one of the most important things, the most important thing when trying to decode what they mean, and that could change. That could change with every drop, or each day, each week, depending on what's going on. Always remember that. Next drop, 4282. This is getting into this morning. This one on HCQ, hydroxychloroquine. So Q tells us POTUS daily ingestion of hydroxychloroquine to prevent COVID-19. That news came out yesterday. Boom! Mainstream media, their minds were blowing up. Big Pharma, their minds were blowing up. And we're going to continue with this drop here, but I want to say one thing. How awesome is it that Big Pharma is being taken down with a pharmaceutical? That a pharmaceutical is being used to expose Big Pharma. Like, the irony of that, I just had to highlight here. It's great. It makes me laugh all the time. Quite honestly, I'm not as for hydroxychloroquine as some other people. Like, I think some other people are looking at it as like a magic pill right now, which I'm definitely for the use of it, but I'm also for a whole lot of other stuff out there. I mean, there's many things that we could be using, that we could be promoting, et cetera, but it is great, like how hydroxychloroquine, like Big Pharma is just so greedy that they don't even want a pharmaceutical to be used in treating this pandemic because it's too cheap. It's a generic. It's too cheap for them. That's how corrupt and greedy they are. That's just funny to me. But anyway, let's get back into this drop. So POTUS daily ingestion of HCQ. Pre-announcement, tools, sources, data, COVID-1 versus 2 analysis, the different strains that are out there, provided to factually challenge the narrative. Full attack versus hydroxychloroquine going on by the media. And that's exactly what I saw yesterday within like hours, not just at the national level, but even down to local news. Press releases went out everywhere saying Trump says he's ingesting hydroxychloroquine for prevention, even though the FDA has not approved it for this or that or yada, yada, yada. That is one of the most BS statements ever. You can put it right up there with whenever the media tries to use the words evidence-free or unsubstantiated or baseless claim, is the words, the FDA has not approved this for such and such or so and so. It's like the FDA, just get that organization out of your respect category. It's just god awful. And again, it's not everybody at the FDA, but it's how the FDA was originally created, what it's been used for by the top 1% since its inception. Why, Q asks, why wouldn't the media, the Ds, Democrats, deep staters, however you want to think of them, want to work on all fronts to find a possible solution? Immediate dismissal. My gosh! Why are they not only censoring hydroxychloroquine so much, but what's even more censored is what I was talking to you guys about at the beginning of this video, that specific mineral we must not name. And not just that, almost, of course, everything going against World Health Organization recommendations or whatever they call. This is what they label it. They label it as either spam or abusive content. When you're trying to suggest potentially life-saving information about health to people on these tech platforms, they will call it an abuse. They'll say you're promoting abuse. It's ridiculous. Anyway. Why doesn't the media want the pandemic to slow or stop? Why don't they want society to heal or recover? Why doesn't the media want people to no longer fear going outside? They want people to point at China. Or why doesn't the media want people to point the finger at China as the source? Why don't they want people to return to work and their normal lives? Who benefits? Attempt to control? Coordinated narrative. I mean, you can just see, again, all the little boxes, all the little check marks. They're checking off their list with their agenda here. It's incredible. It's crazy. 4283. When does your enemy expend ammunition? When do you expend ammunition against a weak opponent? Do you expend ammunition against a non-threat? Critical thinking, media, cluster bomb attacks versus POTUS and Q and you for talking about it. And anything, really anything that doesn't go against their narratives. What POTUS and Q are doing right now, they're trying to get into that as much as that bubble, sort of that bubble of approved narrative or official narrative. They're trying to get into that as much as they can. They can't go full bore. Like, I would love President Trump or Q to talk about that certain mineral, that dioxide we must not name, but you saw what happened with Trump's statements on the disinfectant. All he said was disinfectant, and then so they have to be careful with the optics and when and how they say things. But hydroxychloroquine, that's a way that they can say they got it prescribed from their doctor, get people to get prescriptions, do it the do it kind of by the books, but at the same time, expose those same books. See what I'm saying? I don't know. Doing my best to explain it here. Next drop, 4284. Huma Abedin's ties to the Muslim Brotherhood. Q linking an article from The Hill. This came out in 2016. 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago. Huma Abedin's ties, the Muslim Brotherhood there. Q saying infiltration, not invasion, is how the deep state and their rogue intelligence community lackeys have always done it. Infiltration instead of invasion. That's why you see so many damn controlled opposition assets spread amongst the alternative media and spread amongst the conspiracy and truth-telling world. Infiltration instead of invasion. You would be shocked. You would be. You might not be, but you might be shocked at how many shills. You might know them and love them right now, but they might be complete shills out there in media world working on behalf of their puppet masters. Okay, next drop, 4285. Going through a few links here. Number 1, Bloomberg. China wants to patent Gilead's experimental coronavirus drug. This was from February 5th, 2020. Wow. And even before then, I was talking about certain natural and or cheap and or readily available compounds being used to treat certain diseases going on right now. Oh, man. And they attacked me even before that, too. Next one, Gates Foundation. Okay, so we got China wanting to patent an experimental coronavirus drug. Well, let's check this out from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. This press release from, do I get a date here? I can't find one at the moment. But this is the Global Health Leaders Launch Decade of Vaccines Collaboration. Wow, you can check out there the World Health Organization, UNICEF. Oh, look at that. The NIAID. Isn't that where, what's his face? Fauci works? Still works, I guess. He's like never left. This collab follows the January 2010 call by Bill and Melinda Gates for the next 10 years to be the decade of poison shots. So there you go. They've been working together for a while now. And then a scientific board of the Global Grand Challenges, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Oh, is Fauci on this? Please tell me Fauci's on this one. I'll agree to your stupid cookies. Oh, there it is, Fauci. Ha! They're putting him on blast now. They've been kind of quiet about him for a while, but now they are putting him on blast. And speaking of which, not just Gilead, but let's talk about the vaccine makers here for a sec. Since we're on that subject of Bill and Melinda Gates, how many of these vaccine makers are in some way directly or indirectly funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation? All these vaccine makers that are working on their COVID-19 vaccines. Okay, I saw this one in the news yesterday, Moderna. You might have seen Moderna Therapeutics in the news yesterday and today for leading the way and beginning human trials and apparently, as they claim, as their probably manipulated science says, having really good success in these human trials on this coronavirus vaccine. Have you seen Moderna stock the last 3 months? I just did a quick 15-second search. That's all it takes. I searched Moderna stock this morning on Google. At the end of February, their stock was under $20 a share. 3 months ago? That was only 3 months ago. Now, guess where it's at? It has more than quadrupled to over $80 a share in just 3 months. Hot damn, pandemics make Big Pharma good money, don't they? Jeez, I don't know where Gilead's stock is at now, but you could check it out. Also, I would highly suggest taking a look at who has been buying their stocks. Not just in the last month or two, but who was buying their stocks right before this pandemic started happening. Especially Gilead's. I was trying really hard, trying my best to find this research that I came across a month or two ago, but I'm having a tough time finding it. Anyway, some sleuth out there went through Gilead's, their donators, their sponsors from back into December. And I believe, I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, you can go fact check it yourself, but I believe organizations such as the Rockefeller University and even the open management group Soros's fund and others as well were buying Gilead stock as early as December 2019. I'll dig into that research and tweet about it tonight, but if I can find it. Whew! Again, that's always how it happens, right? It's always how it friggin' happens. It's like they know. It's like they know beforehand, huh? All right, this next one, 4286. This is getting into huge leaks that happened today in regards to Biden, Ukraine gate, all the corruption that happened there. You know, they tried to blame all that corruption on President Trump and get him impeached for it, but we all know projection is the favorite tool of the corrupt, crazy narcissist, not just narcissist, but sociopath, psychopath. They like to project. They'll say it was your fault when really it's completely theirs. They're alleging you of doing what they're doing. And lo and behold, this YouTube account today, Nabu Leaks. When did they even start? March 3rd, 2020. So it's been a YouTube channel for about 2 months now, but looks like today they went and just dumped all of these audio recording conversations. Don't know where they came from, but they are of people like Joe Biden, John Kerry. I think it's just them two. Joe Biden and John Kerry, their conversations with the Ukrainian president at the time in 2016. And, oh man, what was Joe Biden talking about? That $1 billion loan guarantee for getting that Ukrainian prosecutor fired who was looking right into his son's company, Burisma Energy Company. So, wow, quid pro quo evidence in action coming out for the world to see. And not just that, Ukraine gate, those deets dropping today, but also, again, Catherine Herridge getting those scoops. Go follow her for this, everything you want to know on Flynn's case and the FISA D-class, developing declassified Rice email documenting a White House meeting on January 5th, 2017. That was that meeting with Obama. That was that meeting with Biden. And, whew, there we go. More D-class happening. Thank you, Rich Grinnell. Mr. Head of the ODNI, acting, I appreciate you for doing your job that many people before you should have done, such as Dan Coates. But it's really sad when people are shills and sleepers and still doing the bidding for their puppet masters. Anyway, thank you for not. Let's see here. Next drop, 4288. Joe and Barack may not face prosecution in the Durham probe, quote, as of now. Quote, as of now. So, remember that. I mean, how awesome is it that 2.5 years ago, many of us were just learning about all this FISA stuff through Q. The real details, the deepest details that we're figuring out now, 2.5 years later. But be patient, in time. It's a marathon, not a sprint, as Q said here in one of our last drops from this afternoon. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's a very long game of chess. And then I'm going to hit refresh on this because there might be some recent drops. Okay, this looks like our last one here. Q yet again, redropping their drop from May 9th, continuously pounding it into our heads. What's the origin country of COVID-19? That was China, from Wuhan. How long were they on lockdown? Only 76 days. Holy crap, some of us are still on freaking lockdown. Some of us will be on lockdown past the 4th of July. It's ridiculous. How long has the U.S. been on lockdown? No spread of COVID-19 outside of Wuhan. Wow. How is it possible the source country of the virus, minus Wuhan, was on lockdown for only 16 days? Forecasted lockdown for all of those states, way far out. Q says hydroxychloroquine was used in Shanghai as the first line of treatment. USA lockdown versus China lockdown, non-Wuhan, certain days. Huh. Is there a vested interest in censoring and attacking anyone regarding hydroxychloroquine? There sure is, for many different reasons, and they're all sick reasons. For control, for brainwashing, for mind control, because they don't want you healthy, because they want to extend their lockdown, they don't want us to recover. There's, many reasons. They're all bad. There's totally a vested interest in censoring and attacking anyone regarding hydroxychloroquine, plus many other things. It's not just hydroxychloroquine. I mean, the censorship that I and others are dealing with regarding a certain dioxide we must not name is ridiculous. And it has to, I keep talking about it because it has to be talked about, or else it's just not going to get out there. And I'm trying my best to talk about it in super vague ways where you know what I'm talking about, but we do what we can. Yeah, and it's not just hydroxychloroquine, but so many other things that they censor. And apparently HCQ was used in Shanghai as the first line of treatment, which is cool. In China as well, and not just that, but worldwide, they're also using that dioxide to sanitize and kill off coronavirus that way in our environment. So anyway, there's so many things that they could be doing right now. So much that we, as a society, could be doing to just end this. Just end it. It doesn't need to keep going. I don't know why this is continuing, but in that same vein, we know exactly why it's continuing. And it's about time that we just stand the hell up, folks. We stand the hell up. We just say, no, I'm not going to wear that stupid mouth gag that you're wanting me to wear. And if you're a business that's really going to make me do that sort of really asinine stuff just to shop there, like I'll take my business somewhere else. I will. I've done that. I've gone to businesses and they either wanted me to wait outside in a line because they were only accepting so many people in their business, or they had to like have you wear some silly crap or just do ridiculous things. And I didn't go in there. I didn't waste my money shopping at that place. And just share the freaking information, man. Anybody you come in contact with, literally anybody, that's an opportunity there for you to hopefully drop a little seed of knowledge that will sprout in their consciousness. And just keep it going. I mean, everybody right now, they're getting so receptive. They're getting incredibly receptive to information. It's just you have to make it very basic, not too far out there in the left field, and then give them an option, give them some sort of further education where they could keep going to learn more. Because this whole awakening process, it never stops. It's not like you take one red pill and that's it. You got to take that first one and then take that second one and keep going. Keep going, folks. So anyway, that's it. Let me check out this live chat for a sec here. I don't, they erased super chats on this channel. I don't get super chats anymore, so it's kind of a good thing, though. They get really distracting. Like, as cool as they are and as helpful as they are, it's like, I'm trying to focus here, man, but sucks. No more of that. No more PayPal for me either. I've been getting a lot of messages from people who are either signed up to my Patreon or trying to grab something from Conscious Strength. And because PayPal cut me, I had to disconnect it from those two platforms. And can't do that either. So anyway, we'll keep up the fight. Keep up the good fight, everybody. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay woke, stay healthy, stay awake, stay aware. See ya.